Hi, my name is Cameron Knudsen. I'm the project manager of Caltrans for the State Route 70 Binney Junction Roadway Rehabilitation and Complete Streets project near Marysville High School. In light of the developments regarding the coronavirus and the Governor's Gavin Newsom's guidance about public gatherings, we decided for the safety and well-being of the community members and the Caltrans employees to postpone Thursday, March 19th, community open house project that we were going to have for this project. I appreciate you tuning in today and watching this presentation. Our goal is to inform you, give you some information about this upcoming project and the alternatives that we have so far developed, and so you'll understand as a community what those impacts are to the local businesses and the residents and those people traveling along the state route. So thank you again for your time. At the end of the video, at the end of the movie or video, you will be able to, my email address will be there, and you can send me your questions and comments regarding this project, and we'll do our best to get back with you. So at this time I'll go over the project and where it's located and the alternatives that we have. So this display shows the project limits. It goes from just south of 14th Street, or where the baseball field is currently. Begins there, travels north, up underneath Marysville undercrossing, the train trestle, or the can opener as it's often referred to. Goes on, goes past Marysville High School, the Allen Scott Youth Center, Yuba Sutter Transit, and then underneath the Binney Junction undercrossing. Goes up the Finger Levee and ends just north of the Cemetery Road access, Marysville Cemetery Road. So let me give you just a general look of what the project is. The project is going to improve operational improvements by having 5 lanes. Currently, the project has 1 lane in each direction, so we will be adding a 2-way left turn lane, 2 lanes northbound, 8-foot standard shoulders, and 6-foot sidewalks, and then 2 lanes southbound, 8-foot shoulders, and 6-foot sidewalks. We will be replacing the Marysville undercrossing, the can opener, the Marysville train trestle. The roadway will be depressed, and the train trestle will be replaced and the roadway depressed to provide 2 12-foot lanes, 8-foot shoulder, and 8-foot or 6-foot sidewalks, and on both sides of the road. Currently, there's no sidewalks underneath that. There's a tunnel for the pedestrians to use off on the side. It'll go north, and again underneath we'll be replacing the Binney Junction structure, and we have 2 12-foot lanes going underneath that will, once you get through, will neck down to 3 lanes up by the Marysville Cemetery Road. Have 8-foot shoulders, and beyond that there won't be sidewalks, but we'll have the shoulders. So that's the typical section. I'll now go over the alternatives and show you what we're looking at. So again, the project begins just south of 14th Street. There's existing 5 lanes there, 2 northbound, 2 southbound with a left turn lane. And then coming southbound, there's currently only 1 southbound lane and a right turn lane. We will be improving that to have 2 southbound lanes, and that right turn lane will still be there. Northbound will have 2 northbound lanes, 8-foot shoulders, and sidewalks, improved sidewalks. Going up to 16th Street right now is an uncontrolled intersection. We're going to add, and there's a pedestrian crossing that's there. We're going to add a signal to help improve that crossing, that access, and there will be left turn lanes, 2 lanes going northbound, 2 southbound. Coming up The roadway will be depressed to provide the vertical clearance underneath the bridges, the Marysville undercrossing. And because of that depression, access on 17th Street will be eliminated. And we will be, all that traffic will have to use 16th Street, but it will have that signal to help the people exit or enter the highway, state route. And this doesn't have very good access right now anyway. We will be replacing the Marysville undercrossing, train trestle, and to do that we have to have a temporary alignment because we can't stop the trains. So we have a temporary bridge. One of the alternatives that we have with this is to make this a permanent structure. We're under in discussion with Union Pacific to what these final configurations will look like, but we have to provide access for the train while we construct this bridge. That has to be maintained with as few disruptions as possible. So we'll construct that bridge it'll be to the north, and it comes around, realign the tracks. Because of that new structure, we'll there will be impacts to the Allen Scott Youth Center and Yuba Sutter Transit with this alternative. The road continues up, we'll make improvements at Marysville at 18th Street. There'll be 2 lanes northbound, 2 lanes southbound with left turn lanes coming into the high school southbound. We'll provide a bigger left turn into Yuba Sutter Transit, come up to 24th Street. We'll provide, there will be a signal added at 24th Street. Currently, there's the demand and the need there warrants a signal and improvements there. So that will be done. You'll have 2 left turn lanes out of 24th Street and a right turn lane to go north. And so we'll have 2 lanes here to receive that traffic. So again, 2 lanes southbound, 2 lanes northbound. We'll be replacing the Binney Junction structure. And so again, we have to provide access for the trains to keep the trains moving. So we build a temporary bridge so that we can relocate the new bridge or rebuild the new bridge. And so what that final configuration looks like, again, we're working with the railroad to do that. But the roadway will be depressed to give us the improved vertical clearance. The required clearance under the railroad is 17 feet, a little over 17 feet. So it's a drastic improvement over what both of those roadways currently have. We'll come up and we're going to relocate the east finger levee, and so we'll reconstruct that levee, and the roadway will then narrow down to 3 lanes as it comes. We'll have a left turn lane up there to go to the cemetery, and a left turn lane coming south to enter the historic Marysville Cemetery. This goes to the Catholic Cemetery on the west side of the road. This project will tie into the Simmerly Slough project that's being under construction right now, and we will have that roadway will be aligned, and that's where ours will finish, where that realignment has taken place, and it will tie into that new Simmerly Slough alignment. So that's alternative 1. I'll now go over and discuss the differences with alternative 2. Again, the alignment or the footprint of the project is essentially the same for both alternatives. We'll have 5 lanes all the way through, the new signal at 16th Street. The difference between alternative 1 and alternative 2 is this temporary bridge at the Marysville undercrossing. This alternative moves the bridge to the south of the existing Marysville train trestle or can opener. Move it to the south, and the changes to the impacts on this one, again, we will impact these businesses on the west or the east side of the road, south of the trestle, and then the impacts will be to the Veterans Memorial and some residents along that are indicated in blue, where this alternative will have impacts to. It'll come up, and then again we'll fix 18th Street, upgrade that to 2 lanes in each direction, and then 24th Street's the same. go underneath Binney Junction. We have to build a temporary bridge while we do the replacement. And again, the finger levee will be relocated in the roadway. So both alternatives are roughly the same as far as that. The biggest difference is where the temporary trestle and the new structures are built at Marysville Undercrossing and the impacts to that. So the project, benefits to the project are going to drastically reduce the maintenance costs that we have. There's the roadway is deteriorating due to a lot of the high volume of traffic that we have going in and out of the city. So we will rehabilitate the roadbed and upgrade that to drastically reduce the maintenance costs and maintenance with the project. By lowering that roadway and giving us the 17 feet of vertical clearance will improve, and widening the road in this structure will drastically improve freight mobility and being able to get the goods that we move up and down the state through our area. We grow a lot of produce just north of this project, and they need to get their product out to people so they can buy it. So it's a drastic improvement for that. It'll make the road safer and more comfortable to drive because you won't be squeezed through the train trestles, and it'll improve operations improvements. We'll be able to get people in and out of the city much faster and better. Also, safe routes to school. Currently, like I talked about, there's no access. We don't have sidewalks at all on the west side through a large portion of this project. And if you're riding a bike and you want to ride through, you either have to get up on the sidewalk and go under a tunnel for with the pedestrians, or drive through the train bridges, which is not too comfortable. There's no shoulders there. So it'll improve safety. As I stated, all the facilities will be upgraded to current Americans with Disabilities Act requirements, and we will be upgrading and meeting all the safe routes to school current safe routes to school standards. This project, the cost for the project is roughly $111 million, and the schedule, we are working currently on the draft environmental document. We will have that, we hope to have that published the first part of July, and we will plan on having another public open house sometime towards the end of July. The project is scheduled to begin construction currently summer of 2022, and with project completion sometime in the winter of 2025. So that's the current schedule. If you have any questions, again, my email will be at the end, along with Gilbert's email, our public information officer, and you can send your questions and comments into that email address, and we will do our best to get back to you and answer your questions. Thank you so much for tuning in, and appreciate your time today.